Get the front clothes first. Take it first and then take it. Sew back first. Let's sew the sides. Let's look at the holes in the side first. It gets in the way of the belt. Get the belt first. Get it up. Fix the belt tightly first. Different points in front and back. There will be a little more holes in the back. The hole position in the front frame is just right. Let's sew the front and back first. I'll show you how to start sewing later. You need to find the front first, too, so the front and rear close. This is the head. This is also the front and front sticking. The thread on the side is called an inner suture. After sewing the inner suture, you need to turn the pocket over like this. It's turned over and that line is inside. You can't see the line outside internal suture. The inner suture is usually a front sticker, front seam. This is the front. This is also a positive sticker. Stick together. Then the holes are aligned. This belt port, the one with the belt is right. It has a belt. This is called a belt hole alignment. Then, get this. There are 4 in total. And then take this. Ask it to be cut off first. So this is roll by roll. Let's start from the first side. Just pull it up like this. One side just cuts the length of one side. That's it. No need to cut more. Just cut a side. This is more than one side cut. And here are 4. Because there are 4 sides that need to be sewn. I'll cut for later. What a length. Keep this. Because after cutting the sides, he still has the bottom. You also need to put this hose at the bottom. Let's see how to sew first. Take this material and cut it flat first. If there is an unevenness in this, cut it out a little bit. If it is flat by itself, no need to cut. First comb measuring line. Measure this width. Measure 5 times the length of this sewing hole. 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. 5 times the line. This is thick. 2 materials need to be added. A patch pad. So this thickness is relatively thick. Measure 5 times the line. 4 times is not enough. Get the side and latent seams first. First hole. The first hole goes directly through. After wearing it, double pull the wire. What about after double pulling the wire? We have this thread coming out of the side. From this is lurking. From lurking to the side. If he dresses like this, there's a wire in this place. There will be a branded thread on this side. Lock it up. By the second stitch, you need to start adding this drum skin. Fold in half. Fold in half. 2 holes come here. Fold in half and then fold in half. Fold it up and down like this. Fold left and right again. What about after folding in half? If the skin leaks out, put it in. The oil edge and the oil edge are in the same direction. 1 floor like this, 2 floors, 3 floors, 4 floors. The oil edge and the oil edge are in the same direction. This place is folded in half, so it's a little hard to wear. Let's get this needle over here. Wear the materials here first. Wear it after wearing it. This is not picky. He folds it in half. Fold in half, so we're going to wear this. After wearing it, go through the whole opposite it again. It's actually worn like this all at once. But, because it's not in the same location, so it's a little hard to wear, I just wear it layer by layer, and then go through the material on the side. This is thick. 1 floor, 2 floors, 3 layers, 4 layers, 5 layers, 6 layers, 6 layers. Keep moving forward. This location, because there are many layers and it's the second time wearing it, there's a wire in front of it that's in this hole, so it's a little hard to wear. We can grab it like this. Open this hole. Look where it is. Then wear it, layer by layer. Vertical unplugging. It must be vertical pulling. If you pull it diagonally, the needle broke immediately. Then go on to wear the third one. Be sure to tighten the wire. Then to the fourth hole. The fourth hole is much easier to wear. There are 2 floors, 3 floors, 4 floors. There are only 4 floors in total. To the 4th floor. To the 4th floor. To the 4th stitch. 12:30 for the 4th needle can put this 5-star in. And after we put it in, we lay it flat. We lay it flat. Lay it flat and get the clip and jam it. Be sure to lay it flat before going to the card. Otherwise, this hole will not be easy to wear later. Then do it normally. This is an internal suture. After sewing, you can't see the thread outside. And this requires broadband. Like this, slowly and slowly sew all the holes. Wait a minute, I'll teach you how to take this position. Open the clip. Then look at the inner suture. Flip it over to see what the front looks like. This is the front. Both sides are heads. Front and front stick to each other like this. This is the front, so this local line must be tightened slowly. This wire has to be tightened all the way. Don't tighten it. Wait a minute. You can see this line from this place. Pull it very tightly. Sew it slowly. Sew it to the end. 1234 between 4 and 3. Cut off this heart. Just cut it flat. Just cut it flat. Is it a black bone heart? This hose bone strip does not need to be cut. The bone is left here. 1 or 2 should leave 2 holes. The third one can be cut off. You can also leave it uncut. It's up to you. But leave at least 2 holes. Then 1 or 2. That is, there are 2 more holes than the last hole. Then seal it normally. Sew the last hole too. Then pour a hole back. Reinforce it. Then take up the line. Cut this position. It will be better to take up the line with glue in this position. Get another profile. Find the front first. This is the front, face down. Cover down like this. Put the lurking. So the other side that lurks. Be sure to remember to add bone strips in the second one. The hole starts to add this bone strip, then fold the bone in half like this. Fold the 2 holes in half. 2 holes folded in half. Add this 5 cores when folding in half to this position. 5 cores are cut out first. Just cut the side length just right. And then it looks like this. Be sure to add this hose, bone picker. Then wrap it sideways. The side of the front is all sewn. Take up the thread with glue, put it on top of this extra little dot. Get the back close. This is the hijab. Hijab up. This is the front of the back suit. This is the side of the front and front sticking. The front and the front must be attached to each other. Let's wait until we're done sewing like this. You're going to turn this whole pocket inside out like this. So the entire interior. Now, the whole inside is the front. This is the inside. Let's compare. The difference between the side and the back clothes is 1234. Difference of 4 holes. The 5th hole only starts to add this material. Add this side material. Then look at the belt. Here, the belt hole should be here. It needs to be lifted at the corresponding angle. The back is the bottom. Let's measure it first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 times the amount. Measure the line 5 times the length of this hole. Sew first and then fold first. No need to add sides. From the outside in. This is the front, so it's going from the outside in. Thread a needle first. Then it's the same needle. Still, the same needle. Go through the second hole. It's 2 stitches now. Third stitch, third port. Fourth, first. One, two, three, 4 holes. All 4 holes are sewn. When you go through the 5th hole, go down. Need to put on the side. Through the front to the bottom. Get this other bone strip. Do you have to cut it before sewing? Take a look. to the bone. You still need to measure the length of the side. Cut. This is diagonal, so it's going to be cut flat. Then fold it in half. The second hole in the side goes through. Just start adding this replenishment core. Method, it's exactly the same as when lurking in front of the seam. Stuff this in first. There will be 4 more holes in this position. 1234, this is the back width, and then this position is the side. We are sewing in this position now, so they're not on the same line. It's a high one and a low one. normal, slow and slow, the same as before. This one is also in 123 between third and fourth. Cut this out. Then there are 2 more stitches in this bone strip. After packing, there is another thickness on this side that needs to be connected. The point to note is, this megapole corresponds to this megapole. Normal is the same as before. Take up all complete. Take a look here, it's the back. Rear width and side connections. Side and front connections. Then take the side on the other side and turn it over. Connect with back width. This is the inside of the side. This is the interior of the rear auxiliary. Sew it all up. Be sure to remember to add bone core and bone strips. Then this should be kept and sewn. The bottom of the back seam is normal. So this side, too. The entire side is sewn. It is a cylinder-like. Now start sewing the bottom. Sew bottom. Find the clothes first. The one with this hijab is the back suit. Afterwear. And there's a center hole there. Find the center hole. This is the bottom. There is also a center hole at the bottom. That's pretty obvious. The center hole is much larger than the hole next to it. Then, we can also take a general look. Middle position, center hole. And then this is heads. Put it in face up. To make the bag. This is the front of the bag. This is also the positive. Let the front of the bag stick to each other. 2 posted together. Front and front sticking. Then you need to add drum strips. Before adding the drum strip, let's take a look at the hole position like this. In this way, see if there are holes in the holes. Are there any leaks? And then the next thing is to cut this edge flat. Okay, the starting position also needs to be cut flat. If it is flat, there is no need to cut it. If it's not flat, cut it flat. Get this, 5-star, 5 skin. Thick clothes, bottom. Now start measuring. This position requires wiring. So we can measure as long as we want. Just measure half the length. Four times the amount of thread will do. Normal needle threading. Get to the bottom. Find the center hole first. This hole to the right of the center hole. This is the center hole. Go through this hole on the right. This is the center hole. 1, 2, the second hole goes to the right. Second hole. And now it's going through the front from the inside out. Dress up and park here. Get the drum skin. The drum skin is also divided into front and back sides, through the second hole above the front. Then fold it in half. Internal and internal. Fold in half like this. Go through the second hole. This is the marking hole. This is the second hole. A hole in the marker hole flows out. And so is this bag. This is back floating. Back floating outside. Is this the interior of the rear float? It goes from the outside to the inside. This is the marker hole, the hole corresponding to the second hole. Then get the second needle. Go through the next hole. This is wax. It's from that wax thread. The wax is down. After tightening, put that in there. What about when you put it in? You can have a little more here. A few extra centimeters. The marking hole is left out. Mark holes are left here. Then make up the knotty. This seam corresponds to the marking hole. It leaves a hole. Then this bottom node, the number hole is also left out. Get the thread from the first hole and go through the second hole. Just sew this side normally. In fact, it is to leave a hole. Wait a minute and sew it all back. And at the end, you sew it all back together. At the end of this, to make this wrap it up. If no holes are left, wait, there is no way to package each other like this. So this one is to leave a hole out. Just sew it normally. Here it is. The side of this seam is similar. Sew it over, slowly like this. Sew it over and tell everyone how to sew this interface. Turn it over at this interface. If you sew into this hole, next hole, next hole, next hole, if you go through this hole here, the next hole is here. This seam, these two seams can only sew one of them, can only be a needle. One or two is a needle in the middle. Either left or right. Either way, but there can only be one shot in the middle. And then, it looks like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's sewn needle by needle, like this. The amount I'm counting now, it is the quantity sewn for each hole position. Then turn the corner. Be sure not to leak the seam hole position. Because this kind of corner is easy to leak. Cause the whole circle. At that time, the number of holes will not match. So, to this position, slowly like this. Turn this over. You can take a look at the front. This is the front of the bag. This thread must be tightened throughout the process. This line won't leak out. Then, the center hole leaks out here without a seam. Then there will be strips of skin here. You also need to leave a hole, which will be here. Slowly sew to this corner. There is no way to sew it at one time when turning a corner. You can wear it layer by layer. Go through the bottom first. Here, it's a straight line. You can also wear them together. At this point, it is basically impossible to wear it. You need to wear it layer by layer. It has reached the previous hole of this interface. The previous hole is still normal. To this suture, sew through the seam of this thread on the side. If we cross to the left, you don't need to wear the needle on the right. The next seam will be sewn to this place. Sew to this place and put a stitch here. Then this needle here is not worn. Do you want to sew here? I'm just going to pass it through here. Because this bottom is already around the corner, so he can't just go through it. We can first pass through this position of the straight line. The bottom is corner. Save this for the back. Draw it into a thread. Then pierce the next hole. Still the same, go through the bottom first, and then we pull the thread over here. Take it out and wear it again. Wear this needle. You don't need to wear this needle. This needle has already passed through the opposite side. Then this wire can be bypassed directly like this. If you don't want to go around, you don't think it looks good to go around like that. Is there a needle here? Pass it across. Just watch it yourself. You can use it however you want. Can be worn through. Wear this style. What about when we dress like this? Be careful not to skim the line. If you skim the line, you look like this. When we tighten like this, he won't be able to pull it tightly. If you wear it through the inside like this place will look better. Then sew forward. This place leaks very easily, so be sure to pay attention. Wear the side first, then go and wear 5 more skins and sides. Because of the 5 skins and sides, it is straight. Let's clamp it and clip it forward. Clamp what you can hold. Can't hold it. Look at this, his shape is different. If you can't hold it, leave him alone. Just leave him alone. Wear. Then wear this shoe again. It's about this far. Before you can turn it directly, be sure not to leak. Every hole needs to be sewn to the bottom. Every hole needs to be sewn to the bag body. Like this connection location. 1 stitch. Take the thread and wear it down. He wouldn't have hit the line. It was there when we wore it. We put that line along. That's how the hole gets bigger. We pierce above the hole. Don't wear it against the thread. Tai chi line. Okay, then it's almost the limit. We can pick it up like this. This position is 3-dimensional. We only stick it in like this when we start the needle. If you sew at the back, it sews like this. Turn around like this. Turn around. At this point, it's already a straight line. You can clip them together and sew. You can also add the bottom too. So, add up a little bit of seam. Then stand up and sew like this. Then, sew it here, and this corner is also turned around. Then clip it up. Every corner. Each of these interfaces is just 1 stitch. Like this position, 1 stitch, 2 stitches, 3 stitches, and 4 stitches. 4 interfaces are 4 pins, and then the rest is needle by needle for each hole. A hole is a needle. Every stitch needs to be sewn. We sew it to the middle position. Points to pay attention to. Just to take a look. This marking hole. Is it aligned with the marking hole at the bottom of the bottom? It's lurking here. There's a marker hole. Does it match the marking hole at the bottom? If it matches, that means we sewed both corners correctly. Just keep going. If this doesn't match, don't move forward. It had to be taken apart. Take it out and see where the leak is. Then take it apart. Disassemble wherever it goes wrong. Then rewire. Just rewire and sew forward. Let's go from here to the position of the marking hole on the opposite side. I just sewed this marking hole. It's already aligned here. Just align the marker holes. Marking hole. Okay. And then this side line is almost gone. Now put all the lines on the same side. Then come and pick up the line. Put the lines on the same side. Cut it. Leave it longer when cutting. Remeasure the line. From new mark hole to mark hole, 4 times the length of the line. Measure double first. Twice. 3 times, 4 times. 4 times longer. Count 123 back from the sewn hole. 3 stitches. Then this stitch is counted from the second back. Tension line. This is rubbish. So the wiring is done. Just so forward, normally. Wiring is to close this cable on the same side. And then we went back 123. From the third hole, then sew forward. It has arrived at this interface. Let's cut this heart first. Pull this up and stretch it out a bit. Pull it to a position where it can't be pulled and cut it. Then see where this is. At this location, this opening and the one below are like this. There will be a seam in the middle. It's not built like this. Crevice. Cut it shorter. What about after confirming it? 2 wires, one at the bottom. One is wrapping the body, then count the holes. Count the holes without seams. And this is the marker hole, and the fourth one is the marker hole. It's not sewn. It's already sewn here. So, there are 4 unsewn here. And look the other way. 1234. There are also 4 unsewn here. Their holes are the same. The hole position of this material is the same as that of this material. This material itself needs more. He can only have more, not less. Because after we count the holes now, to cut it just right, if he's short, he can't pick it up. So he must have gone out a bit more. Then we come now to count the holes. Here are 4. There are also 4 here. So is our bone skin. The remaining 4 are unsewn. This sewn one cannot count 1234. Be sure to count the corresponding holes clearly. Otherwise, if you can't catch up, the whole bottom has to be torn down and started again. If this is cut wrong, the whole bone strip skin will be resew. So this hole must be counted clearly before cutting. It's done here. And when it's done, put this drum strip. Peel this drum core up with your fingernails. And you put the drum down. Let them wrap each other like this. Stick like this. Wrap. Is that so? Is that so? After he wraps it, keep moving forward. Okay, that's the 4th hole. To the 4th hole, the more layers, because it has 2 layers. There are 2 strands of skin wrapped around each other, so his number of layers is 2 more layers. Keep moving forward. This position can be reinforced with 2 stitches. After 2 layers, close the line on the same side. Then put the lines on both sides. After closing the line, now flip the bag. You need to flip it to the front. Comb first when flipping the bag. Fold that corner. Hold all 4 corners with your fists and push them out. If you flip the bag, there can't be a pause in the middle at once. You can't turn it halfway to the middle. Hold it there. Then go do other things. You have to do it all at once. All turned over. Then come to the setting. To make a setting is to put this edge. Pinch all flat. Rub him like this. And flatten the folded part. Well, we can see the inner pocket. Take a look at this inner bag, and the outer leather. It is attached to the edge, like this. No sticker in the middle. The reason for not sticking just in the middle. Just to protect us when we flip the bag. Creases that appear. So the normal front and rear widths are not tight. Our peppers don't stick to death. Just stick it on the edge. Make sure the oil edge of the edge can be closed. Be sure to do the stereotype in every position. I'm electrocuted now. It takes about 10 to 20 minutes for normal setting. Set every position well. Now start sewing the lateral nail line here. Then the front pocket. The front needs to heat the pocket. Turn the pocket like this over. That's it. Then sew it over. Sew it all? We start with 2 stitches. I want you to double the line. Double the line first. Measure sewing holes as 4 times the thread. From the first hole. After the first hole is made, then go through the second hole. Then double pull. Sew it slowly like this. So this way, I'll teach you how to turn around. We are now sewing the last opening on the side. And then you turn around. When wearing it, wear the last port lurking. Let him have that connecting wire. Take a look. Count 12,345 from this gap and this hole. Finish the 5th hole. The 6th hole starts to add inner tape. $123,455 is now 6. The 6th hole is about to start adding that inner bag. The 5th hole has been sewn. The inner bag is held like this, turned over, and put in. Clamp it. Slowly sew it over. Sew to this location. Use the same method to bring it over like this. When I take a look at the reinforcement, it is reinforced on the inside or reinforced on the side. Reinforced on the side. Shrink the line inside. Shrinking on the inside side. Shrink in this position. Then just take up the line normally. Take a look at the sewn pocket. It looks like this. This position can be pulled. This location. You need this when sewing and after sewing. Rub the lurking with your hands like this. Rub it flat. There is a hole. This hole it is a hole. When we sew, if you take it like this, the pocket on the inside will be higher than the lurking outside. So we have to sew it first. Do it like this. You also need to take it like this when sewing. You can't take it like this. In this way, the inside of it will be higher than the outside. The whole bag is done. Then teach everyone how to install hardware and belts. We buckle the belt to the inside. After buckling to the inside, it goes through the side from the inside out. Then next to the hole every Confucius wears. Wear them side by side. Then this place tightens. Do a stereotype. Buckle it up. Get another belt. Use the same method. Let's do the setting first. This side. The sides on both sides need to be shaped like this. Then take this bag belt to the front. Cover hole. This big hole is used to hold this hardware. Then, the other side. Buckle like this. Then install the hardware here. The hardware here is made of this kind of foot nail. Such a corner peg has two corners. It's a 90-degree angle. 90-degree angle on this side of the suture. Mounted on the front. Then the corner nail is pressed in like this. Press it with your hand like this to get in. Nail by nail. Press in like this. If you don't have enough strength in your hands, can't press in. You can use scissors on this side. Or smash the top of the screwdriver like this. Do you want that skin to hit the hardware? Hit the skin next to that nail. Smash it in. Normally it is not needed. You can press it in with normal strength. Press him like this lightly and he can almost get in. One nail basin. Press it in. Press it in. This can be buckled. Does this position need to be tightened? The side needs to be tightened here to buckle it. It looks like this. Next to it, you see, there's a corner. 2, 3. Get this lock key. Open this up. What about this one? Below is the circle, a little above. This lock is also a circle below. A little above. Open like this. There's a button here. There is a hole. Go through this hole. Hanging on the handheld. The lock can be hung directly in this position. Put it in. All done.